Transparency 1. Utah citizens are unwilling to recycle their trash. Salt Lake Tribune, February 16, 2001. Statewide consumers contribute. Mountain Stowe trash disposal problem that is at worst a full-fledged health hazard. We barely recycle, we rarely conserve. We fill up our trash cans and watch their contents disappear into the backside of garbage trucks. They carry the loads to places most people have never seen. The state doesn't have mandated recycling goals, so the state doesn't track recycling. Utah recycles 15 to 20% of its waste. In comparison, Arizona recycles 26% of its trash, Oregon 30%, Maine and New York 42%. Harms 1. Recycling is the only way to reduce the size of lethal landfills. These landfills are contributing to toxic waste in our soil. Salt Lake Tribune, February 16, 2002. 4 landfills have failed preliminary groundwater tests under close observation by the state environmental officials. In Washington County, Duchesne, the Trans Jordan landfill, and Davis County, officials have discovered high levels of metals and organic elements and inappropriate water chemistry, Bond said. All 4 sites are being accessed by the division. In Spanish Fork, waterfowl living in Utah Lake marshland became sick in areas near its landfill turned master plan community. Test results of water draining from the landfill into the wetlands show contamination of arsenic, lead, chromium, cadmium. Bond says there are dozens of unlined landfills statewide that could allow poisonous leachate, groundwater contaminated by underground garbage, to seep into lakes, streams, and drinking water. We do have landfills out there, Bond said, that are polluting and have impacted the groundwater. Thus, we present the following plan. The state of Utah will mandate that all counties increase recycling initiatives, but give control to how to meet these requirements to local Utah governments. Funding and enforcement guaranteed. Ask us questions if you need answers. Solvency 1. Residents have a vested interest in local politics. Official 1999. Residents who own their home have a stake in the outcome of local politics, which makes them especially attentive to the public policies of local governments. It explains why competition among local governments results in a race to the top in public education and environmental protection instead of, as is commonly alleged, a race to the bottom. 2. Local governments are able to recycle better because of their ability to better manage land use policy. Official 1999. Local governments use their land use controls in rational, if not always admirable ways to maximize the value of owner-occupied housing in the community. Most other economists had till then a Manichaean view of zoning. It was modeled either as a one-headed constraint on urban development or as a sophisticated means of internalizing externalities by all zoning planners. I sought to replace both of those approaches with a model that emphasizes the economic interests of residential voters as the best way to understand zoning. 3. Homeowners' vested interest in local politics allow local politics to surpass the efficiency of state and national agencies. Fisher, 1999. The explanation is so simple that I started it for years without recognizing it. Everybody knows that homeowners care about the value of their major physical asset, their home. Most economists and nearly all homebuyers know that the good things and bad things that local governments do tend to raise or lower the value of that asset. Studies of political economy find that homeowners are the dominant political faction in all but the largest local governments. This book puts these 3 propositions together in a positive account of local political economy that show how and why it differs from the state and national brand. 4. Local governments save the environment the best. Environmental Poll, 1999. Registered voters nationwide believe that the state and local government agencies can better protect the environment than the federal government. The new survey's results are consistent with those from the CEI's 1996 National Survey on Attitudes on Environmental Policy. Both surveys found that most Americans support environmental protection and significant reform of existing environmental laws. For most Americans, devolution, regulatory reform, and property rights are consistent with environmental protection.
Recycling is not particularly beneficial to the environment. It does not save all that much energy or conserve resources, and costs significantly more than other garbage disposal options. Owen Nicholas, author of Is Recycling Worthwhile? My partner and I do not believe that the concept of recycling is wrong, but we do know that we should not go too far with it. It is because of this that we do not support the resolution, be it resolved that the state of Utah adopt a comprehensive program of recycling for all communities within its borders. We believe that the status quo is in a much better position. Did you know that from 1988 to 1993, recycling rates nearly doubled? Well, they did, and they are continuing to rise. EPA 2002. Also, around 20% of all garbage that is going into our landfills are non-recyclable materials. NEF 2002. I will now read you my contentions. Contention number 1. Utah already has many recycling programs that are and will continue to succeed. One of them is a Christmas tree program. It was created in 1999, and every year around Christmas, it gets and recycles over 337 tons of trees. Salt Lake City Valley Solid Waste Management website, www.slvwmf.net 2000. There is also the SPRA, which diverts around 21,600 tons of wood and other organic materials from the dump every year. SPRA website 2002. There's also the Y Recycling Corporation, which recycles around 60% of all the waste that it creates. EPA 2002. Salt Lake City is also planning to implement a curbside recycling system in late 2002 to early 2003. Jill Fletcher, Salt Lake City Landfill. And finally, there is a Cache Valley cleanup team. The CVCT diverts nearly 73% of all commercial waste, which is waste thrown away by businesses, from the dumps. Clifton Phillips at recycle@loganutah.org 2002. So as you can see, we already have many working recycling centers, and if they are continuing to work effectively, why should we have to implement a new comprehensive program at the expense of our taxpayers? Contention number 2. Recycling materials cost much more than just to put it into a landfill. Did you know that to recycle 1 ton of garbage costs $70, whereas it only costs $19 to place it in a landfill? That's over 3.5 times as much money. Mitch Wilkinson, Waste News, 2002. Contention number 3. Some items that are recycled cause potential harms. Unsanitary recycled medical tools have caused patients to become infected. Dr. Noel Irwin claimed that he found recycled skin staplers that shed dry blood, tubes clogged with feeding materials, bloody angioplasty balloons, and a large biopsy needle containing pinkish fluid and a piece of severed skin. U.S. News & World Report, September 20th, 1999. On another note, de-inking plants that take the ink out of paper and newspapers are not very safe, because for every 2.5 tons of paper they de-ink, they produce 1 ton of toxic sludge. So why would we want to recycle one thing to make an even worse thing that we cannot recycle? Consumers Resource Magazine, April 1994. Contention number 4, landfills. Our opponent is making the landfills sound like they are unsanitary and horrible, but this is not true. In this day and age, landfills are actually helping the environment. They not only dispose of trash, but they also focus on preserving the environment, planning the sustainable future of future landfill space, and even practice, educate, and promote recycling. Public Recycling Information Officer, 2002. Also, landfills are beginning to make energy by selling some of the gases to energy plants for money. EPA, 2002. So let me remind you that we are not against recycling, but that we are only trying to say that we shouldn't fix things such as the status quo that are not broken. Thank you, and please vote negative.
First of all, they started off saying that recycling is not beneficial to the environment. However, we have proved through our harms and our solvency that it does benefit the environment. Our Solvency 2 and our Solvency 3 and our Solvency 4 said that the local government saves the environment and it's good to the environment if we recycle, and the local government can do this, which means that it does save the environment by recycling. They said that recycling rates doubled and that recycling is bad and that landfills cost a lot less. However, that's not true, because landfills and incinerators cost more money than recycling. Recycling doesn't cost a lot as opposed to just throwing out your trash. John Tierney, 2002, NRDC.org. Several recent studies demonstrate that recycling can be cost-effective technique for managing municipal solid waste. A well-run curbside recycling program can cost anywhere from $50 to more than $150 per ton of materials collected. Typical trash collection and disposal programs cost anywhere from $70 to more than $200 per ton. This demonstrates that recycling can be cost-effective. This is one of the few articles that we have that prove that recycling is costs less than landfills do. And also they said that recycling is harmful to people. However, in our harms too, we said that not recycling causes for really bad water, which causes a lot of damage to people. Like, it causes cancer to many people. It's caused cancer to other people, and people do not like landfills. They said that landfills are fine and people don't mind it, and it's good for the environment. However, that's not true. Utah has many hazardous waste landfills. Jerry Spangler and Donna Kemp. 2001 Desert News. In all, Utah's home to 1 hazardous waste landfill, 2 hazardous waste incinerators, 2 radioactive waste dumps, a chemical weapons incinerator, a massive commercial landfill that accepts some waste deemed hazardous in other states but not in Utah, and a facility that burns municipal waste. Landfill in Spanish Fork giving cancer. Dillon and Snyder, 2001 Desert News. The physical symptoms of Spanish